were established in the 19th century, but Paso Robles has now become the center of a new wine region, which was only properly established about 35 years ago. Gary Eberly is known as the godfather of Paso Robles. Encouraged by reports of good growing conditions, he was one of the first of the new breed of winemakers here.
There were 3 wineries. They had all been here since the repeal of Prohibition, or before. And when I came down in '73, we planted 700 acres, and that was the largest planting in the area and probably a third of all of the grapes at that time. And now there's 26,000 acres and about 170, 80 wineries. So it's grown significantly over the last 30, 35 years.
One of Gary's claims to fame is that he effectively pioneered the Shiraz or Syrah red grape in Paso Robles.
Yeah, well, I was cutting the edge before there was an edge. You know, I just became sort of intrigued by it because it had such a distinctive character. And then I started investigating Syrahs from the Northern Rhone. And I said, wow, this is great. So I made it a point to get some Syrah cuttings, and we planted 20 acres in '74 and another 20 acres in '77. And for at least a decade, we were essentially the major source of Syrah in the United States. I would say at one point, I would say at least 80% of all the Syrah grown in the U.S. came from cuttings from my vineyard. It's probably still 60% now. And because of that, a lot of people have started bringing in other varieties. They've really brought in so many different clones. We probably, I mean, not probably, we are the center of the Rhone movement in the United States, absolutely.
The Justin winery was another established quite early on, in 1981. It was founded by Justin and Debbie Baldwin.
When we started, for example, there were only 200 wineries in all of America. Today there's 5,000 across the United States. The dominant focus had been north of us, almost 300 miles in the Napa Valley and the Sonoma Valleys. And people like us, who are sort of more a pioneer spirit, thought, well, rather than just be somebody else on the road up there, let's go somewhere else and see if we can do this. And so we came here, and as I said, there were a few others before us. And it's interesting when you start out like that, there are no rules. There are no boundaries. There's no preconditioned ideas as to, well, you should plant this here or that won't work there.
Justin had been a banker, and Debbie had worked in marketing. Free of ideas, they experimented and built up a highly successful business. Originally, they ran it part-time, but for many years now, it's been a full-time way of life. They've even built their home on a hill right above the vineyards and the winery. They've developed a number of top premium, high-quality Bordeaux-style wines, which have now won many prestigious awards.
We wanted to make a Bordeaux, or a Bordeaux-style blend that was a Margaux style in Bordeaux, so a soft, more feminine style that today is called a Saucilles. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Merlot.
At our level of production, we're so small that we really are able to express each individual vineyard in the bottle, whether it was hot or cold or dry or very rainy that particular year.
It's more artistic. And that's what we love about it. It's that it's different every year, and so we work to refine to make the best possible wine each and every year. And it's a different experience.
One of the main reasons the area is proving popular appears to be the freedom it gives winemakers.
I know factually 96% of all the wine in the United States is produced here in California. And experimentally, what makes California interesting in the United States as well is that we're not bound by laws and tradition that our friends in Europe and all across the rest of the world. They're restricted by appellation, by defined geographic parameters, to only certain types of grapes, and only certain amounts of grapes, yields from those grapes can be accepted. If you go beyond that, there's severe penalties. Here, plant whatever you want, grow as much as you'd like to do. We don't have those restrictions here. So we're able to experiment with different types of plantings side by side, different soil conditions, and different blendings of different types of wines that would either be illegal or unheard of in the old world.
The Paso Robles area is still attracting new young blood, with chefs, surfers and students amongst the many trying their luck.
These are our kids, really, 25, 30 years old, who are out making some incredible wines. They're getting great reviews, and it's for the same reason. They've just thrown away all the rules. They've done it their way. They're not bound by any tradition. No one's looking over their shoulders, because this is the cutting edge here in California. This is the frontier where, I won't say anything goes. It's not the wild, wild west, but it's maybe the wild west, where we're attracting, and the whole area, and us as well, are attracting young, very motivated people.
Paso Robles is growing enormously. I went to school just south of here, and so I've seen Paso Robles grow in the past 5 years. Within that time, there's probably been about 100 new wineries. Now there's about 250 or so. So with just such a diverse amount of wineries and sizes of places, it's just a great spot to be at right now.
I'd been involved in the retail side of wine for so many years, I thought I'd better to come and try making it. They grow so many different varieties here, so you're able to produce so many different styles of wine. The area is sort of well known for Rhone varieties, so white Rhone and red Rhone, but they grow great Cabernet here, Zinfandel. Here we produce a lovely sweet red, a sweet white, and a range of dry whites and dry reds as well. So it's the diversity mainly.
The area's extreme variability provides many different growing conditions concentrated in a relatively small area.
The area here is just so diverse with microclimates and different soil types, so that we might be getting, Cabernet from maybe 10 different vineyards, and every single one is different. So it enables quite a bit of creativity.
Coast of California. One of its main cities is Santa Barbara, and where Paso Robles is the epicenter of a new frontier in wine, Santa Barbara has become an important center for a new food movement. The slow food movement is a reaction to fast food. It started in Europe, and here in Santa Barbara, it's actually a woman from France who's one of its most passionate advocates.
Slow food is only important if you care about your quality of life. Okay, so I grew up in a family where we had very few luxuries. We were a working class French family, and food, good food and sitting together with our family and friends and eating together and drinking good wine and laughing together was really our only luxury. And then I came here to the richest country in the world, and I saw how people were eating. And I went, wait a minute, you guys have the worst food I've ever tasted. It doesn't make sense. You've got all this money, what are you doing with it? And what slow food does is that it brings us back to these really simple values of conviviality and togetherness and the rhythm of the seasons and paying attention to where our food comes from and the biodiversity and the history that's associated with the culinary traditions.
Laurence doesn't just talk the talk about slow food. In a quintessentially Californian enterprise, she has started a business called Market Forays. For $135 per person, she teaches customers how to shop for good food, and then how to prepare and eat it.
We start at 8 o'clock at the harbor, and we go and see what fresh seafood is available. And, go and bring breakfast to the fishermen. Hey, Sam, did you want one?
Thank you, Ross. And
I'll share one more. You kids can split one.
Thank you very much. Always look forward to coming around with your basket.
Yeah, always goodies.
They're
in
not
there.
heavy like Winchell's.
No, this is French pastries.
These are really nice. Like
12 sharks, spider crabs, and there's an octopus in there.
I'm always amazed at how much has been forgotten.